Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
And good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome. It's time for your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman, welcoming you in on this Saturday. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend, getting the weekend started, and we certainly want to be a part of that by showing you all the great things going on in Indian country around here. What a great, fantastic week we've had. A little bit of rain at the beginning, but nice weather, and what a great week for it with it being Earth Day week. And certainly around here at the Muskogee Creek Nation with our very own Environmental Services Department, we take Earth Day very seriously. So we're going to have some stuff on that, take a look at that. And also, we've been commissioned by our Higher Education Scholarship Committee to do a video for them. And we're going to show you and share some of that with you today on the show. We figured why not just keep it, let our viewers see it too. So that's going to be an extra special treat for you all out there as well. In addition to some big things going on here throughout the entire month of April, with it being Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Of course, with our Family Violence Prevention Program, they do such an excellent job. They're totally engulfed in all of that, doing different things. And last week, there was a big event, the Sexual Assault Awareness event, and they had the walk afterwards, a special guest speaker brought in. So we are going to talk with a very special guest after our first break. We're going to have Shawn Partridge in studio with us from our Family Violence Prevention Program, and she'll be with us right after this first break, so don't go anywhere. You're watching Native News Today.
Momesh Harishungigo Imongin Hobidagi Ani Omaga Bomaha Hoye Imongin Oma Bonchomegigosh. For more information about Muskogee language preservation, please call us at 918-732-7724.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Folks, we have a very special treat now joining us in studio, the lovely Miss Shawn Partridge with our Family Violence Prevention Program at Muskogee Creek Nation. And Shawn, we brought you in because it's a very big month for your program, not only your program, but the Muskogee Creek Nation and really around the country. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
It is Awareness Month around here. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and so while we are always trying to do prevention activities throughout the year, we do target some special events throughout the month of April. For sexual assault awareness. We always host our annual sexual assault awareness event and walk for to commemorate the work that we're doing in survivors of sexual violence.
Talk a little bit about this year's event, because I know you guys were excited, had a special speaker in, and a lot of people really seem to buy in. I know it's sort of one of those subjects where people kind of maybe withdraw a little bit and won't be themselves. It seemed like everybody at the event this year was a little bit more in tune with what was going on.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. We were very excited to have Jeffrey Buckholtz, who came out from California. He does a lot of work around the country around sexual violence and the prevention of sexual assault. So we were very excited to have him to be able to present this year. And I also, like you, really found his presentation to be just what we needed to hear, not only for young people, but I think for people of all ages. But his presentation really focusing on what what media does and how it impacts or creates a culture that supports sexual violence. And so, I mean, I thought he did an amazing job.
Never been regretful to be part of the media until just now. No, I'm just kidding. I know what you mean, though, and that's exactly what we're talking about as far as everything that's portrayed out there and things, they seem so harmless on the surface. You dig deeper into the meaning and things like that, and that's kind of what he explored. We think things are okay when really they're not.
Exactly. I think I have to admit I was a little nervous at some point because his presentation, I mean his discussion was very blunt, but I think it needed to be when it comes to talking about sexuality and preventing sexual violence and what each of our individual roles are. I mean, as men, as women, you know, to help ensure the safety of one another. So and children as well. So
another thing I think when I was there that he made a great point is he talked about you all and your staff specifically and the amount of women on your staff, and he talked about nationally how that's also the case. It's so many women that are taking up for themselves in these cases, and really at the Muskogee Creek Nation, that's kind of starting to turn a little bit because you guys recognized that a few years ago. You know what I mean? That a little bit ahead of the curve there and saying, let's get our men involved. I know last year, big the initial push to get the Warriors Honoring Women group started. You got to be very pleased with that group and really just talk about how that's made kind of a difference in the way that you guys portray your message.
Sure, and I appreciate you for noticing that too. But you're right, this work, it's not women's work. It involves everyone, and we need men participating as well, again, to help ensure the safety of women and children and other men as well. But definitely we are so excited about the Warriors Honor Women group. We now have Joe Martell on our staff with us. He's helping to transform and expand that movement, and it's really exciting to see more and more men, you know, coming and participating and coming to the events, being involved in the Warriors Honor Women group. And so we are very excited to see that movement expand and grow, have our Muskogee men involved in helping to ensure the safety of women and children and men too, because we know that men can also be victims of sexual violence. So.
JoJo also keeping you guys in a lot of good barbecue over there too, right? Nobody goes
That's an added
hungry.
bonus for sure, definitely.
Okay, well, and not only him, but other men too that get involved, and men in positions like Muskogee Creek Principal Chief George Tiger with the proclamation. He's always been a big supporter of the department. Frank Coachman, one of our national councilmen, actually got up and spoke at the event too. So you're seeing not only people around the Muskogee Creek Nation, regular citizens, regular employees, but also people that have a little bit of pull and you know and are in great positions to where, you know, that's got to feel good too, that everybody's really on the same page from the top to the bottom.
Absolutely. I mentioned this at the event that day, that we feel so fortunate to have the support of Chief and Second Chief, our National Council, because I do travel around the U.S. and have the opportunity to meet with program people from other tribes that have little to no support from their leadership. So, I mean, the support is critical to helping us grow as a program, but also to spreading the message and creating, and actually, I mean, really impacting safety, because even though our priority is to service victims and survivors, really we're trying to impact social change here. We want to change the societal, you know, norms and beliefs and response to ensure the safety of people, and also to make sure that offenders are held accountable. So leadership, their support is just critical to the work that we do.
And your job made easier here in the last year with people at the federal level, the Capitol stepping up, the VAWA reauthorization passing. I know you guys were in that fight for a long time. Not to say that the job's easier, because it's a difficult job, but what I mean is on the federal level, we're paying a little bit more attention to the work that you guys are doing and these programs around the country. And I know a lot of people out there also look to the Creek Nation as an example and a beacon in this fight from tribal nations across the U.S. when you go to these places and get to travel. So it's very neat to be able to share that message. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank
the
you.
main thing that you do, as you said there, is you advocate for these victims. You advocate for these ladies, these gentlemen that are in these situations. So if they are out there right now and you need someone, the Muskogee Creek Nation definitely here for you. If you have nowhere else to turn, you have someone in the Muskogee Creek Nation, Shawn, and all the great people at the Family Violence Prevention Program. Shawn, give us the numbers for the folks that may be needing to talk with you.
Sure. We can be reached at our office at the main complex in Okmulgee, and the number is 918-732-7869. We also have staff located at offices in Eufaula and at the SRO office in Wetumpka. We are happy to meet with people anywhere. If they don't feel comfortable or have the ability to come in, they can call and access services over the phone. We'll go anywhere we can to help provide that service.
So fortunate to have you all at the Muskogee Creek Nation with this wonderful service and turning the tide little by little and person by person, doing a fantastic job, Shawn. So thank you for being
very
with us
much.
today.
We
Yes.
appreciate it.
All right, everybody, keep being aware. Keep your eyes and ears out there for people that may need help, and get them to programs like this where they can reach that help. So we're going to take our next break. We'll be right back with the rest of the show. You're watching Native News Today.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. So give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
And thanks for staying with us out there, everyone. I want to thank Shawn Partridge once again for stopping in studio and spending a little bit of time with us, talking about such a worthwhile program that she heads here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. Does an incredible job. She's got a great staff, and we're going to be looking for great things from them in the next few years as well. They just keep on keeping on. So also, as I told you from the break, or from the jump, the very beginning of the show, we had Earth Day this week. And at the Muskogee Creek Nation, as I said, our very own Environmental Services Department, they do such a fantastic job recycling, making sure that the nation is energy efficient, having different workshops and different listening sessions with energy folks in that industry. So they do a fantastic job all throughout the year, but this is the first time they ever had an Earth Day presentation where they brought in schools and had little stations and everything like that. We talked with Yvette Wiley, she's with the Environmental Services Department, about Earth Day and having this and rolling it out for the first time. Hopefully it'll be an annual thing, but we were glad to be there.
This is, I believe, the 41st Earth Day. So this is maybe not our first attempt, but it's the first attempt in a while, and it's the first time we've had invited students. And we had 3 different groups come. We had Stonebridge Academy, Henrietta 7th graders, and we had a pretty good sized group from Holdenville, 9th through 12th graders. And so we can learn hydrology, we can learn the place of different wildlife within the ecosystems and the scopes. And that's basically what I'm trying to do. And I think, you know, these are really good. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to get these guys down to the wetlands is the more that young people are exposed to the natural world, then they're going to take a bigger interest in it and look out for things that they can do to not lose habitat. You know, some people like to, you know, we all have our different passions. Some people it's wildlife, some people it's water, but whatever it is, it all ties back to habitat. Andrea Jones with Hughes County Conservation Commission has done a lot of educational outreach. She's experienced with it, and she's the one that really helped me pull this off. And I don't know that I could have done it without her.
Yvette recently came to one of our board meetings and said that she'd like to set up a first ever Earth Day Festival here in Okmulgee at the nation's headquarters. She'd seen several of my educational programs, and she asked if I could help in any way. I said I told her I would try to get with several of my group, and we'd set up a few stations. This morning we've brought them out here. We've got 3 different stations. We've got soil painting. I'm teaching them how to be fire-wise, how to protect their homes during wildfire season. Yvette is doing the non-point source pollution with the Enviroscape model. This afternoon, Yvette plans to take them out, I think, just south of town to the wildlife area and do a walk through there. We're delighted to be here today. I've been working quite a bit with Yvette over the last few years. Yvette, she is one of the water quality specialists. That's one of my areas that I focus on quite a bit with mine. As a matter of fact, Creek Nation, I believe, is starting to set up your own conservation district. We're working with you guys to, with your nation to set it up. It's going to be along the same lines as what we have. It's exciting. we're glad we're finally being able to partner more with the nation. It benefits everybody.
We do the Calvin 4-H day clinic. We go to all these 4-H events, and land judging to anything agricultural. Keys County is pretty involved in educational programs. I belong to Greenleaf Ceremonial Grounds, and it's an honor to help Mother Nature along.
And our thanks again to the Environmental Services Department. A lot of the guys that are in the department there actually weren't there that day. They were in training up in Tahlequah with the Indian Health Services. So you can see they're a little bit busy, and things got going on, and so many irons in the fire. So they do a great job, and we always want to showcase them and the worthwhile work that they're doing to preserve our earth and doing the things that we need to do to keep everything environmentally intact here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. Now, I told you we would show you a little bit of our video we're doing for the Higher Education Scholarship Foundation. We're so excited to be able to do this, and Chief Tiger, Dr. Pete Koser, really got together and had this idea, something that's now morphed into this foundation. It's a wonderful thing. It's a show of the strength of our sovereignty at the Muskogee Creek Nation, that we can fund our higher education endeavors for our children and our youth. So it's a great thing, and this first part we'll show you here is really how it all came about from the Chief's idea and taking it to Dr. Koser.
I've always been proud to share with other tribes how higher education, or education in general, is a priority with the Muskogee Creek Nation. And I felt like that we could even do more. And so I had this idea about a foundation that's privately funded that can help fund more students to go to school. And it was a vision that I've had for a number of years. I've seen it work with other tribes, and I know that we've always taken a lot of pride about being leaders in what we do as tribal governments at Muskogee Creek Nation. And I felt like this could be something we can do. And I had someone in mind, actually, of maybe heading us up. And I visited with him, and he and I are really childhood friends. We grew up together in Okmulgee, and he was an ideal person because of his affiliation with like University of Arkansas, Southeastern Oklahoma State University, and knowing what it takes to have the ability for students to go to school and how much money it takes, and that was Dr. Pete Koser.
Chief Tiger and I have been friends for many years, and again I was at Bacone and interested in his administration, and with Dr. Johnson as well, we started communicating about what they were doing here at the tribe. And our conversation led to me becoming more interested, and then us collaborating together about a possible foundation here.
Dr. Koser and I visited, and I offered him a position to actually be the one that starts this, and right now we're at a great pace and making sure that this is a success.
Through the National Council, we received the official approval to move ahead with the 78-71 Foundation. And here in the state of Oklahoma and nationwide, there aren't very many 78-71 foundations. Again, that's based on the tribe's ability to exercise the sovereignty, and again, it's self-determination. So there's an ownership by the tribe and ownership by the Muskogee people. The three components of our foundation include, of course, the scholarships, and then research that will be conducted by Creek citizens, and then community initiatives. And so that's those three are basically the priorities of the foundation. Again, we're into scholarships now, and we are providing scholarships to our citizens.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break here, and that'll be part one of the story. And as I said, you're getting a little bit of the background information of how the idea became what is now the foundation. Such worthwhile work there, doing a fantastic job. And as you can hear from those comments there, the principal chief, Dr. Koser, many years knowing each other, and had this wonderful idea, and now they're excited to see it in full force. And we're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back with part two of this video. Don't go anywhere.
For 3 years, kids have been asking their parents, what is that hill on the river going to be? What answer did you give?
Did you tell them that someday that half-finished structure will be one of America's most important attractions, bringing visitors from around the country and the world to Oklahoma,
along with hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy?
There'll be state-of-the-art interactive displays that bring to life the stories, history, and culture of the 39 tribes that share this state.
A 210-acre landscape park and trail system. Beautiful retail and business space.
This will be another jewel in the crown of our state's tourism industry, and it will pay eternal tribute to the origin of our great state.
It's not a matter of whether we can afford to complete it. We simply can't afford not to. For the current generation of Oklahomans and the generations to come, let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
And thanks for staying with us out there, everyone. In our next half of our Higher Education Scholarship Foundation video, we're going to focus more on employee contribution, scholarship donor, scholarship recipient, to get that perspective. And that's kind of why we broke it up a little bit. So we know that it goes a little bit long there. So we decided the first half will show the chief, Dr. Kozer, talking about the genesis of this idea. Now we move into how it's actually working for the citizens, and the citizens are making it work. It's a great thing.
We're not using tribal funds. We're not, accessing any of the funds that the tribe has to offer. This is all donation. So it's an important part of what we do as tribal citizens, to help one another, to see them be successful. And the foundation obviously is a big part of that. I was pleased and honored when Dr. Kozer asked me to be a member of the foundation and have some input on some of the scholarships that were established. Also, just the easy access that we have as tribal employees. We just sign a couple of pieces of paper and send it over to finance, and they get it set up to where money comes directly out of your account every month and goes towards the scholarship of your choice. I established a scholarship in memory of my grandfather. His name was Jackson Narcomi. He was a well-known artist. Sold t-shirts at the festival every year, just a big deal, and he always looked forward to doing that. And I've seen the struggles of a starving artist and what they go through, and there's not a lot of opportunity for them. So I thought, what a better way to not only honor my grandpa, but be able to help out another citizen than to establish this scholarship and allow them access to some funds that will help them pay for art supplies and the things that they need to be successful with their education.
Ichki Momanichka, which translates from our Muskogee language into the English language as a mother's love. And the scholarship that my fiance at the time, Cher Ridge, and myself, we were looking to do something in honor of our marriage and our marital union, and in lieu of our not wanting to really accept gifts and money and cash that comes along with marriage sometimes. We're both, I think, sometimes, well, when I say sometimes, a lot of the time, socially active, I guess you'd say. So we wanted to use our marriage as another opportunity to really highlight and have another opportunity to really do something what we believe in, which is helping out our community, especially our Muskogee community. So we decided to forego the, typical donations from family, whether it be a gift registry or monetarily. We established a scholarship for single mothers.
Knowing that what I had faced as a college student, as a single mother, we seen that there was that gap that was still missing in our own scholarship program here at the Nation, and we wanted to create that opportunity for a young woman to be able to finish school, go to start school, or let her know that there's additional support out there. And most importantly for us too, it was to make sure we make a connection. Whoever selected for our scholarship, we want to make sure we make a personal connection with that young woman to let her know she has additional support. And we were very honored this last year, the young lady that received our scholarship. In a roundabout way, Indian country is very small. When we started to conversate with her, we learned I had worked with her mother. So we're now friends on Facebook, and she lets us know what's going on with her college career plans. And we just want to be an encouragement to her, let her know we're proud of her and that the scholarship is more than just money to us. It really is. We want to be a support, and we want to see that young woman and her family be successful.
Well, I had decided to go back for my MBA, and there are no federal grants for that, and I have a large family.
So I started seeking information through my tribe, Muskogee Creek Nation, and they told me about the Foundational Scholarship Program. And so I applied and they awarded me the scholarship. And I was very excited because, you know, we don't have a large income for our family, so it meant quite a bit to me to help with that financial obligation. And I was able to go before the National Council to receive my scholarship. And I think the most exciting part was meeting the donor. Wonderful man, and he had made the donation in memory of his mother, and I was able to hear the story and actually tell him thank you in person. And it just meant a lot to me, not only the support from my tribe, but just the support from people, and they believe in education and they believe in it enough to give their own funds. And I hope someday that I'll be in a position where I can do that as well. It was an exciting time, and he'll be part of my life forever now. And we see each other from time to time, and we just hug, and because he invested in a piece of my life, and it meant a lot.
Now families are getting involved. My wife and I, we actually funded the Philip Kuhn Scholarship because he's such a treasure for Muskogee Creek Nation. To have a scholarship in his name, I think, means a lot to those students that receive it because of his background. And we're looking at maybe funding another one in the name of someone from our family. So it's taken a domino effect, and it's really been very positive. It's unlimited what we can do with this.
And that'll wrap it up for another episode of Native News Today. So glad you could be with us on this Saturday, share all these great stories. You know, Earth Day, Environmental Services doing a great job. Want to thank them for having us out. Higher Education Scholarship Program, thank you for allowing us to share that great story and with the folks on Native News Today that are loyal viewers. It's so great to show that. And also Shawn Partridge and her great staff doing a fantastic job. Always good to share the good news that they are doing out there for our Muskogee Creek citizens. Also, before I leave today, I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Greg Pyle, the Principal Chief of the Choctaw Nation, who is stepping down. He is retiring after many, many, many years of great service to the Choctaw people and the Choctaw Nation. He's been a part of Native News Today many times, so I want to thank Chief Pyle for his service and wish him the best in all of his future endeavors. And as he rides out into the sunset for many, many years of hard work, he's going to get a just due rest. So thank you, Chief Pyle. It was great being with you and being able to share your stories of the Choctaw people and all the best of the Choctaw Nation. Hey, if you can't catch us here on CW 1219, you can always catch us online, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Look out for Native News Today. Until next time, we'll see you guys. Have a great week.